do this. I want to try. I want to take another crack, an informed crack at being vulnerable online.
Yeah. I think my version of doing that was very, very different, but
It was Tumblr.
it was.
Yeah,
And
me too.
Well, I grew up homeschooled, so that was my social outlet as I was growing up. I had other social outlets, like I was in some activities and things, and like went to art classes and stuff, and I had some friends around town, but I didn't see them every day. I didn't necessarily talk to them every day until I was a little older. So what I was doing from the time I was like 12 to now, basically, is using social media all day, every day. And Tumblr at the time, how old was I? I was 12 when I signed up for Tumblr.
Sorry.
It's okay. I was 12 when I started using Tumblr, and I was using it like a platform for my views to be disseminated to people I didn't know. I was treating it almost like I was a journalist or something.
Yeah.
But not like reporting on things, just talking about my views. Like the way that people thought about blogs in 2013 or whatever. Like,
back.
yeah, not like it's an Instagram page or a TikTok page or something where you're building a brand, but it was less capitalistic and more of an expression thing for me then. Which that's a whole other dialogue about how the internet has changed, but that was where it was. And I wrote these really long things about like, oh, I'm fucking 14 years old and I'm mad at my mom today, or I'm 16, my boyfriend is 24 and everyone thinks that that's bad, but I don't. Like, I don't know, just things that I don't necessarily want people to know about me, that I didn't think I was telling people because I was putting it on my Tumblr, which I don't know why everyone was under the illusion at that time that Tumblr was this secret platform that nobody could see. Because literally everybody's blog was public. Like, you could have Googled my name and found it. Yeah. Actually, some people in my family did do that at one point, and that was a whole thing. So I was posting, I was posting angry things about politics, but I didn't really know what was going on because I was 12.
Right.
So I think I used the word sheeple at one point. Probably nobody who's friends with me on Facebook now would be surprised by that news.
Archaic 2012 internet lingo.
Yeah. Like angry child.
Wake up, sheeple!
It's so bad. But that's the thing. It's like I didn't think in a similar way, but like you had a much larger platform, obviously, but I didn't think people would see it because I didn't realize that I would eventually be somebody that had more friends or more people that might Google my name, or like that someday I'd be an artist trying to sell my work and that you'd be able to find that stuff. And not gonna lie, like it's not the main reason. Like the reason I changed my name is because I'm non-binary, but a big part of the reason why I don't use my former last name is because there's so much shit on the internet that you can find that I don't necessarily want my clients to see. And it's not because it's bad. It's just because it probably should be in a journal locked up in my mom's house.
It's almost as if it was uploaded to the internet by a different person.
Yeah.
Like, it's as if there was some, like, imposter of yourself that was 12 posting shit on the internet that's now ruining your life.
It's not even ruining my life. It's just embarrassing.
Same. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, I just think I just think it does something to your brain psychologically to know that what I put on the internet when I was like a young teenager is just still there.
Yeah.
And like there are boomers and fucking older people all over the fucking world that did all types of shit or said all types of shit when they were really, really young that literally does not exist in anyone's living memory. That is erased from the world and the record because there was no internet. But that is not true for us.
Yeah.
Like, it's as if, like, people all talk about mass surveillance and shit and like, oh, you can't do anything in secret anymore. Like, it's been like that. We've been mass surveilling ourselves the whole time since we were kids.
Yeah. Voluntarily putting all that stuff up there.
Yeah, and it's still there. A lot of it's still there. Remember that? You can reblog things on Tumblr, and then the original blog deletes themselves, and the reblog is still there.
I forgot about that.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck's up with that?
Yeah. That's true.
So
this is all so counterintuitive to what we were just saying about trying to be more vulnerable in this podcast.
Yeah, but I feel like I've experienced enough, not that I know everything about the world, but I've experienced enough that I understand the gravity of saying something online that might be that is vulnerable but I understand now. Like, I'm thinking when I'm saying everything I'm saying right now, I understand fully that my grandma could listen to this.
Yeah.
My mom might. My fucking ex-girlfriend that I dated in 8th grade might listen to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, anybody that has internet access that even has any remote interest in me right now could listen to my words.
Which isn't remotely how I was thinking about it back then.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
I see
like,
what you mean.
right. So I understand that now. So I feel a lot more comfortable because there's a whole lot of things that I absolutely would not say right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I would tell you with the record off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's fucking
I think
crazy.
also to touch back on some other things we were saying about quarantine and people putting up a kind of, I don't want to put a negative lens on it because I think entrepreneurs and artists that are using social media to portray a good version of themselves, all fucking power to you. You have just as much power and autonomy as a brand would, and you are already able to do that. I do that. But in a time like 2020 and 2021, hopefully mostly 2020, we'll see how this year goes.
Yeah.
But vulnerability is hard to come by. I know at the job that I had last, I just got hired to a new job starting tomorrow, but I was at a job before where I had a bunch of friends that I would see every day, and say something fucked up happened, like a customer came in and yelled at somebody, or somebody was having a bad day with their boyfriend or something. I would see them and they wouldn't necessarily go out of their way to tell me, but it would be clear that they were upset, and a conversation might ensue and we might talk about it, and maybe I'd make them feel better, or maybe they'd give me something to think about. And I know that was really valuable for me, especially as somebody that's kind of more, I don't think I'm necessarily introverted, but I don't really seek out relationships that deep a lot of the time. I just kind of let them happen. So the fact that now my social pool is a lot smaller and everybody has their own things going on, and maybe not everybody is accessible all the time for those kinds of deep talks. It would be kind of toxic of me to expect everyone to be all the time if it's only 5 people. Like, this just isn't how people are used to socializing, and maybe this kind of vulnerability is more valuable now than it would have been then.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting too, because as far as vulnerability and telling the truth and talking about your current real life experience, I am 100% more comfortable talking to strangers about those things than I am talking to the people in my immediate life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like we were walking down the street the other day and we saw some random guy talk to us about COVID. A homeless man was talking to us about COVID. And then I was like, yeah, dude, we just had it. We had it in December. And there's there's people I know that I don't want to tell that to, but I was okay with telling the random homeless guy that because he was cool about it. And he's like, oh, like, I'm happy you're okay. But like, well, I guess if he had a negative reaction, that's the thing. When you're telling a stranger about something that happened to you or about your life, and it literally doesn't matter how they react.
Yeah.
At all. It means nothing if they react poorly or bad or nicely.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of comfort in that. And with that being gone or limited, I don't know. Maybe we should all start using Omegle again.
Oh man, throwback.
I've been seeing a lot of ads for Omegle.
Do you remember that?
I feel like they're making a comeback.
I don't know if they ever went away, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, they definitely fell out of popularity. Maybe
I think we're just not 11 anymore.
That's just true, maybe.
I was using Omegle as recently as 17.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, though. I agree with that. I think, to kind of tie back into, I think I did a shitty job of explaining this, but to kind of tie back into what we were saying before about the Boston Art Podcast and, like, how we feel like, why do we feel like we have a right to use that name? This is why. Like,
because fuck you.
Well, that's the funny way to say it. But also, I mean, I think the most valuable things for me about my community, like, I have found being a tenant at Dorchester Art Project super, super valuable because I've met other people that are in my age group and income bracket and are kind of at the same level as me. As far as, like, how much reach their work gets, or like what, they're not gallery represented or something maybe, or some of them are, but
we're not.
I'm not. But there's a lot of people in my community that I feel like I can talk to and we have similar experiences, and that's great. And I feel like when you go on Spotify and you listen to a lot of podcasts that are run by galleries or museums or something, they're cool and they're informative, and I think I've really romanticized listening to them in the past, but that's not what's going to help me right now. And what I have to offer other people is just what I'm actually going through. And maybe I sound like a dumbass, and maybe I'm not going to stand by any of this shit in 2 years, but this is what a conversation with someone who is 23 in Boston sounds like, I guess. And maybe that's valuable to someone right now. So fuck it. I'm an artist and I'm here and I live in Boston, and that's why I feel like it's okay to use that name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Like, I think that has its own value. I don't think it's just shitty to be vulnerable and quote unquote unprofessional.
Yeah.
Because what is art really about? If it's all supposed to be polished and professional, that's not...
What the fuck even is professional mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
That was a sentence.
That was a sentence. That made sense.
It's kind of funny too, because like, isn't it like kind of, I've never like worked in like a corporate office, but like, isn't it a thing that like corporate offices right now are like having like this informal, like we're all a family ping pong table in the office type shit? Isn't that like kind of like a very...
It's pretty common.
Contemporary thing to do anyway?
Yeah, like Google offices or something.
Yeah, like Google fire pole office bullshit.
It is, but at the same time, it's accompanied by a kind of HR culture of like...
Right. Like,
which isn't bad. That can be
know
definitely really good for some people, but...
I know that the companies that do that are bullshit, asshole people. Like,
Well,
fuck you guys anyway.
Well, I don't know about that, but...
I don't mean people who work in corporations. I mean people who run them. Like Google fire pole. Like, let's make the office more... Whatever. But, like, fucking fuck that shit. But...
I think it could have good intentions.
I'm saying that, like, I don't know.
That's a lot. Whatever. Go on.
Fuck that. You're wrong. But I'm saying that professionalism is a weird, like, social convention illusion that we accidentally subscribe to. It's like, you don't show up to a gallery opening shirtless, or like don't, I don't know, like inappropriately, like, fuck, I don't know, like, I don't know, don't smell like shit. Like, I don't know, there are social conventions that you should follow. That is true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there also are a lot that you're self-imposing on yourself that are fake.
And a lot of them have to do with class, because I feel like a lot
Yeah.
of business culture is based on like the business world of like the boom of the 80s and whatever. I don't know what I'm saying right now, but I feel like it is like pantsuit, like put all your money in your 401k, like I'm a professional power suit person. And that is not, I've really struggled with that, because I feel like for a lot of my life, I have tried to be that person because I felt like it was the only way to be a professional adult. And I mean, I talked about this a little bit on the podcast before, but I was struggling a lot with the decision I was making. I just got hired at a grocery store that I'm not going to name just in case that's a bad thing. I don't know, but
you don't want to like
tell people where I work.
Or anything either.
Sorry about that, but I work at a grocery store now, and I'm so fucking excited. And it seems like one of the best jobs that I've been hired at in a long time. I had my first shift yesterday, a training shift, and I'm starting actually on the schedule tomorrow. And I was really anxious about applying to that because I felt like I was giving up at trying to be professional and that there was something wrong with that. And lo and behold, this job works out better for me. It's better for my schedule. I'm going to make more money, better benefits. It's just a better situation overall. And I don't have to act like an asshole all the time. Like, I don't know. I have a lot of beef with like HR culture because I feel like what it does is prevents people from being vulnerable with each other and being honest and talking the way they normally would. But it's a way bigger deal if you say like a swear word, like accidentally drop an F-bomb in front of a customer, than it is to like be racist or like transphobic or something. Yeah. Like, you can actually do things that are really harmful and get away with it. But if you accidentally like...
Etiquette.
Yeah, like if... You know what I mean? I don't know. Professionalism is a complex topic that is, I think, problematic.
We should talk about professionalism in another episode.
Yeah, that could be a whole episode.
Yeah, that's a good topic for an episode.
Yeah.
Damn, man, I'm starting to get tired again.
I am too. I think we put a lot of energy into this one.
We should wrap this bad boy up.
Yeah, I think so.
This 74-minute episode.
Quick math.
Quick math. I did that pretty quick, actually.
Yeah, you did. Good job.
I nailed that.
I was like, really?
You're like,
How many minutes are in an hour?
Yeah. Well, shit. Okay. So, yeah, I think that was a good episode. I hope everybody who listened got past the first 20 minutes.
Those first 20 minutes weren't bad.
Okay. Yeah. Just self-conscious. Whatever.
Thank you for being vulnerable with us if you're still listening. And hopefully we'll continue doing this. Give us some feedback if you're interested on our Instagram or something.
And if you have suggestions for things you want us to talk about or questions, hit us up too.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. If you're interested in being interviewed for the podcast, we're trying to figure out ways to make that work.
Yeah, the main hub of our podcast is our Instagram.
Yes.
So
So that's
follow us there.
if you don't follow it already, if you don't know about it, if you're just finding us on Spotify, we're under